Hello YouTubers, welcome to another episode. You join me on a lovely morning here at Auchenstein. As you can see, some lovely flat water to be able to get onto this morning and do the final sharp, longer piece before we head to Met Regatta this weekend. So it's going to be my first flat water regatta in a long time. Maybe the Yam Squad can remind me in the comments below when that specifically was. I think Australia? No, Trials. Trials would probably be the last flat water race. Australia would be the last flat water regatta. So really excited to go and get some side-by-side racing in. I think I've been doing things a little bit differently, so I'm excited to see how the speed is. But before we get to all that, for future Yam Squad to look forward to, we have to finish off the part of the program before the racing. So today, if you will join me, we're just doing a little bit of high intensity, 1,000 meters after a good warm-up, a race warm-up if you will, and hopefully I'll be able to show you a little bit of what I see on the screen here. But before that, we have to get that race warm-up in. Now, everyone's a little bit different on their race warm-ups, so I definitely recommend trying some different things to see what gets you ready for your race. But here at Auchenstein, there's about 2,000 meters of windy stuff that I'm on now. It's always generally flat, so I get a good amount of time where I don't really have to focus on much else bar, for me, getting the blade in well, and then by the time we get to the end of the windy stretch, it's time to get some harder work in to get ready for the higher intensity, and that'll depend on what your workout is. So for me, I race pace 1k, so I'm going to be doing a few bursts at that race pace, roughly rate 34 to 36, and then the pace itself, as always on the water, it can vary quite dramatically, anything from 140 to 210, depending on the severity or lack of severity of the conditions. But today we're really treated to a lovely morning. Wind's not picked up yet, water's flat, so we just have to enjoy it. All right, so we've got the warm up complete. The wind's picked up a little bit, got a little bit of a tailwind going this way, which is the way we're going to be doing the piece today. Did some bursts both ways, and we are warm and ready to go. Got my sweat on, but also early in the morning, and being the first intensity of the day, regardless of high or low, it's kind of difficult to gauge how it will feel, especially this weekend when the races are later in the day. So 1,000 meters, pretty hard, probably will end up overpacing it, but it's not a flat out 1K. It's more of, if I was to put everything on the table in a 2K race and I go through the 1K at this pace, then I might be in trouble for the second K, but I potentially could hold on. That's generally what will happen if you end up doing a pace, inverted commas, piece before a race, because it's really difficult to judge what the pace actually will be in the middle of a longer race. So I'll do my best, but also I want to show you, so this is what I look at throughout the pieces. This is a stroke coach, this is how the filming is done. I've got my stick and the 360 camera that films everything in a ball as we drift into the edge. But this is the rowing computer, if you will. Here, strokes per minute, my distance. I've been using distance per stroke just to see what happens, what if I make a change, if that changes the distance per stroke, and then obviously the chronometer, the time. And so I'll be looking at that, and I'll show you the splits once I'm done. Unfortunately, I'm not going to mount a camera. Maybe one day I'll mount a camera around there pointing at the splits, but for now you'll have to wait till post-piece. But now I've drifted into the bank, going to get out the bank, do this 1,000 meter piece, and then get off the water. So I'll see you after. And just where we are, I'm guessing we're probably going to hit the turn before the end of the 1K. That's okay. All right. Oh. Okay, so piece done. I think that was, like I said, that's going to be really uncomfortable for 2K, but I reckon that's kind of where I would roughly want to be for 2,000 meters. The overall split, hopefully you'll be able to see. So 49.6 for the average split, 339, 1,000 meters, 35.5 strokes per minute. And you can kind of see the averages here. You go, so we started off 52.5 for the first 100 meters. That's including the from standstill. So picked it up okay, and then down onto 47.8. So 48s, 49s, 47s, 52.50. What's that? 800 to go. 800 in, and then a little bit further down. So conditions changed a little bit throughout, but not really. But pretty happy with that. Not the fastest piece I've ever done, but a 150, so a 720, and not, like I said, not the fastest conditions, and not side by side by myself. So pretty good prep piece overall. Now I'm gonna warm down and then just see it off the water. But the warm down itself, again, similar to the warm up, where what works for me might not work for you, so definitely trying different things out. But it can be really difficult, or difficult's not the right word, but you really sometimes, when you've got a hard piece done, you don't want to do, or hard intervals, whatever it is. One, you don't really want to cool down, just want to go and finish, go home, get ready, leave. And two, even if you do continue to do a warm down, cool down, it's hard to bump the intensity up. And that's not to say you're going to do some more bursts for the cool down, but more so the better you can get into a normal steady intensity versus a light, really tired intensity, almost the quicker you can flush everything around your body. But obviously when you're tired, it can be, the motivation isn't there to really want to step on a little bit and push that heart rate slightly higher, push the blood around your body a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to do now. Stop chatting to you. Just a paddle of 2-ish, 3K. Starting off, try to push the intensity up, and then hopefully by the end of the cool down, I'll be at a normal intensity, my heart rate will be normal, and I'll be feeling good. So fingers crossed, Yam Squad, that's how I feel. I'll let you know when I get there. And we made it. Cool down complete. Picked up the intensity somewhat. Now head in, de-rig, put the boat onto the roof of the van, and then drive down south. So that will be it for today's episode of Yam Squad. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Back on the flat water rowing train, and looking forward to this weekend for Met Regatta. So I'll see you in that next episode, and if you did enjoy it, and if you did enjoy this episode, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, I appreciate you subscribing, and I'll see you at Met.